Okay. Now, was there anything you guys wanted to do in the evening time before?
Nothing for me.
No.
And are you going by... Now, this part I don't remember you discussing. Are you going by foot or horseback? You all have horses or ponies.
I believe we were talking about horses because we'd be able to cover more ground, and we were kind of already tight on schedule
Yes.
due to the delay. But I guess the only thing I would maybe do is, stay a little longer in the common area of the inn and, typical dwarf kind of drink and talk with other people and try to gather maybe some upcoming rumors or occurrences that have happened about maybe people who have traveled south from the north area.
Okay. Also, there was the dwarven merchant that you had found on the road, and not doing so great, but he was headed west to the Arid Luine, was going to pass through the Shire, and and you tasked him with passing on news to the Arid Luine with what has occurred, because he overheard everything you guys discussed. Well, you didn't shut him out, but
I think we also told him if he happens upon Bilbo and Gandalf to tell them directly.
Yeah.
In opposite.
Okay. Then the morning of the 18th comes. And your horses have been prepared by the stable boy. All refreshed. Saddled up, ready to go for you. And we're technically on a journey still. The feather sheet open.
Yes. Technically, though, I have drawn no line.
Right. I'm going to make a roll for Fulvus to guide. Right. And he was successful. And that's where you end up. You're here.
I think this might be where we cut off into the woods.
That was the original plan, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I am just quickly looking up something.
Since I believe we also figured, we're informed that there might. Drew a circle. Might be orcs in the Weather Hills somewhere.
All right. As you approach, you start to see the trees in the distance, and as you got closer, you saw some smoke on the horizon, just before, not beyond the trees, but off to the right of the road. And it was quite faint, so you didn't see it from much farther away. And getting closer, it is the remains of a homestead that had been set on fire. And the fire is now gone, but there's still smoke rising from it, so it hasn't been that long ago. And I need you all to take a shadow test for dread, which is a valor roll. Now, some of you have some bonus for that. I think it's Fulvus who does. No, he only has a bonus for greed and sorcery, not for dread. None of you, looks like, has a... Oh, Harebrand does. He has a... All valor rolls are favored. Always, and that includes a shadow test for dread. I thought there was one of you that did.
So how do we make that?
You just,
Click on Valor?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then make it
Yeah, right.
Favorite?
Yeah, just click favorite on that.
or inspired. Favored, okay. Favored. Best, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Feat dice.
Yeah, by
Look at feat
default.
dice then?
It'll do it automatically for you if you just click
Okay.
Valor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Roll.
Huh. Why did it not? Oh, that was... Wait a minute. Well, it was successful for you, but why... It should have rolled 2 feat dice for you. Did you click...
Okay, click feat dice. No. Okay.
Oh, right. You just gotta click, I think it's called...
Okay, so. Alright.
It's alright, you
It's-
passed it anyway, but it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you have to click the button for feat dice,
So
yeah.
it says best and feat dice. Okay.
Yeah, all things considered, that wasn't a bad roll for me.
Oh, boy. Oh, dear. Angamandil.
The elves take it harder than most.
Yes, indeed, but even worse than that.
Go imagine if it was Elleray.
Oh,
He got an ISR on, and seeing this just made him flash. You see him kind of jump and looks about. And a bit of horror, really, just a shiver runs through him. And those of you who are I don't know how close you're getting to this homestead. Oh, the rest of you all passed your roll, so you're fine. But Fulvus and Agamandil have gained a shadow point.
Oh, we passed it. I passed it 14.
Yeah, I know you did. Oh, you did
Yeah,
not.
mine said
No, you
failed.
did not.
Mine said failed too.
Whoops, sorry.
Yeah, I think the whole...
It was just
Harebrand.
Harebrand. Oh, I got it backwards. Sorry. Yeah, those of you who failed gain a shadow point. Just from seeing this dread to seeing the family.
Fear not, my friends. Take heart.
It goes in the temporary box.
Yes, because otherwise it's a shadow scar, and that is much worse.
Yeah, the way they do it on there is a little bit weird because I don't know what the big diamond's all about.
All the diamonds confuse me.
I think
If you
I
do
think,
the temporary, it increases the big diamond. I see. Yeah, you can't even
well,
click
yeah,
on the big diamond to change it. That's what it is. Got it.
It's like
Oh,
it's like the sum total because shadow scar sticks with you for it's like hard to get off. Like it sticks with you for it's like what makes your character retire is what a shadow scar does.
Yeah, Agamandil can only remove shadow points during Yule. He has no option during a regular fellowship phase. That's what an elf
look
is
at
like.
this. Oh,
Alright, I've done Fulvus and Agamandil. Right, and if you're looking closer at this
And
farmstead.
at this point,
Yeah.
at this point, I think we're going past it. So why not?
Alright, those who are get a little bit closer can make a scan roll for me, please.
yeah, because I could see me walking to get closer. I probably came across that homestead.
Yeah, you would have been this way multiple times and probably have roughly remembered that there was a homestead here.
And then I can use my special item, or does that cost a? I always forget if it costs a hope point to use.
Hold on, I'll tell you. There we go. Doesn't cost you anything outside of combat. It grants you 1 dice as long as it's relevant for whatever you're doing.
Wonderful. Sticking my windproof lantern into
Yeah.
the dark, burned out husk of a building.
Yep, it would be beneficial in this case.
All right.
You got a success, and
I was for just a success.
all right, it's only you and Wanderer then. And what you notice is that the occupants didn't escape the fire,
That's a shame.
and you see some charred remains of a family. But you notice something else. You notice some arrows, like arrows that were fired into the homestead.
I'm gonna walk over and pick one up, yank it out of whatever it's stuck in.
You can see some stuck into some of the people, but into the remains of a wooden post, like part of the wall.
Yeah, so I'm gonna choose one stuck in anything but a person.
And it's yes. You pull it out, and you can tell by the shape of it. You're not quite sure. And then Bane looking over with his orc lore. That's an orc arrow.
And just like that, Bane is a bloodhound. Looking outside, can I see tracks of said orcs going off in a certain direction?
Well, it wouldn't have been too long ago because there's still smoke rising from this. The flames have died out, so tracks wouldn't be too old. So we'll need to have a look. And
Dust cloud in the distance.
yeah, that's going to be another scan roll for that.
All right.
Both of us, or just him.
Well, if you want, if you notice that Bane instantly starts looking on the ground, looking for trails. I don't know.
Folklore.
Blood Hound.
You're welcome to if you want, or you could spend a hope and help him, or just do your own roll.
So I always forget. I think I have to spend a point for my distinctive feature, which is Orc Lore. Probably.
No. Let's see. If
Yeah.
hold on, double check.
Or is it just for the normal ones where it's like you have to explain how you're being proud or lordly?
Yeah, it's like that sort of thing. So it says it gives you knowledge of the characteristics, habits, strengths, and weaknesses of your chosen enemy. The way I translate that, if there are tracks to be seen, I would give you a bonus in following them.
Bonus.
A single die.
Would
Or
Shadow
to
Lore
look-
apply to that? Then?
Shadow lore is a little bit different. Shadow lore is more
Okay.
of just the shadow, and it's almost a relation to Sauron himself, but just the darkness in general, not the
Okay.
specific habits of a creature. So, Bane, you could get a +1 on your roll for this. You know it's orcs. You know you're looking for orcs.
And was Wanderer helping me?
What was your decision, Sol?
Yeah, I'll give you a hope point.
Support from companion.
Yeah.
Down to 6 on hope. Ooh,
Wow.
Dane really likes to hunt these orcs. It's his purpose.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep closing this sheet. I keep having to open it up again. So you got 2 bonus successes there. Why do you want to spend them?
I would like to spend them as I pull up the.
It's number
Cool.
5 on the screen.
Cancel. Gain insight. Make haste. Widen
Yeah.
influence.
Well, I don't think. Widen influence wouldn't really. I don't think. Probably gain insight. And I mean, we're about to follow them, so probably make haste.
All right. You do
I don't see
indeed.
why.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say because I don't see why I couldn't for the like. I know why widen influence exists, but I don't see why I couldn't just point this all out to them after I see it.
Yeah, so
don't all-
they don't always necessarily fit perfectly to all the situations, but that's all right. So, yeah, what you notice is that a small group of orcs, not many, came from like the Weather Hills area, or at least towards that direction, whether they had turned north, like from the Great East Road through the Midgewater Marshes. You don't know, but that's because it's too far away, obviously. But they came from the east, but they circled the homestead a few times. And knowing orcs, you suspect they're just scoping out their prey, perhaps taunting them and toying with them, causing terror. Doesn't seem to be a struggle. No other footprints. No captives taken as far as you can tell from what's left in the ground. And then they left from here, headed almost straight north, so they deviated or ran alongside the road. You'd have to walk farther along their trail to see how far they, are they going to go straight north and, therefore deviate? Because where you're at on the Greenway at the moment, going straight north doesn't necessarily, for a while, doesn't pull you away from the road too much.
Yeah, so.
Hmm.
I mean, as long as we don't deviate too far from our normal path, I don't see why we can't just cut like from here rather than here. So, yeah, I mean, I mean, unless anyone else has a problem, I don't see why we can't follow them at least a little bit further. potentially wipe out some orcs that have just
Yeah.
razed a homestead to the ground.
All right. Well, to continue on to your journey then, with following them at least for a little ways,
Yes.
you see that they had made camp with underneath a dense covering of trees right before you leave this little copse of tree area here. And they didn't go in it, so let me get my pointer. They didn't go into this, but I mean, this is just where the bulk of the trees are. You're going to find some straggler trees coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw them take cover, and you know, Bane, definitely, orcs do not like the light.
No, they do not.
And you suspected resting up, and then you just notice that the tracks continue straight north. It looks indeed, I mean, you get a little bit further. Looks indeed, they're going to go straight, almost straight north, at least from where you're at now. Whether they deviate later, you don't know.
Do
But
I?
You do also notice one more thing about the tracks. They are
Okay.
moving faster once they leave their campsite. Their stride is bigger. Were they being pursued? Or were they just trying to
Yeah.
get to another place of safety before, traveling at nighttime? Before the sun comes up? You can't
And
tell.
we don't see any other tracks, right?
No, you do not. So that kind of is ruling that out.
Yeah.
Suspect
Well, we've
just
made
making haste.
Yeah. We've made haste, and we don't. I mean, you said it. Well, I could be wrong. It's obviously closer to Fornos gets a little hillier, but it's pretty flat here. Do we see like out for a bit, or do we see, dust that would indicate travel not that far off in the sky?
Climb a tree.
Would awareness help with seeing that?
Awareness is more like sixth sense, detecting somebody ambushing you. You're looking at scan for this. And you're talking about climbing a tree here, Brand.
Perhaps if there's a tree nearby, we could climb and check. Or I could put my dwarf friend on my shoulders and see if he could see something.
There are trees not too far from where you're at.
Our little hobbit friend likes.
Likes to ski. Yeah, he does like to climb.
Yes, he
If
does.
he doesn't want to, I will. That's fine. Well, let's see what my.
The question is the scan roll, I suppose, because you have to climb the tree to scan, right?
Yeah. Though,
I mean, Bane picked up athletics. He can climb.
you sure can. And I think scan is... No, it's not. You got a higher scan, but I thought somebody had a favored scan. Oh, Angamandil does, but he has one die in it.
Yeah, I just have one die in it.
I can climb the tree. We'll try.
I have 2 on scan.
This is a
It's not
dwarf
favored.
on a mission.
Yeah.
He hates orcs with a passion.
He's a bloodhound on this. All right, I'm gonna climb the tree, I guess, to start. Climb the tree. Unfortunately, that was a poor attempt to climb the tree, so I'm just gonna try to grab a branch.
Can I help you? Can I
suppose
help you, my friend? Give you a boost?
As long as I do not get tossed.
Yeah.
And I,
So, how can he get a help from me?
yeah, I think you just.
Yeah,
I
because that you have to have a change of situation in order to attempt something again,
Right here. Let me boost you up.
or choose a different tree.
Mhm.
I will take the help and choose a sturdier tree. That was better.
There we
What
go.
was that climb? All right. Now for the scan roll.
Yeah. Now, I want you to give a +1 on your scan. Now, you won't be able to use your lantern for this because it's range is
Am I-
irrelevant, but
Still able to use my orc lore?
oh yeah,
All right, so 2. Wonderful. All right. This is it's a hope pose. Okay. That's everything. Ooh.
success. There's a lot of dice in there.
Oh, yeah.
You, let's see. Let me check my.
Do my dwarven eyes see?
Bane, what do your dwarven eyes see? You very faintly. It's very, very faint. If you didn't have all the bonus dice, you would not have seen this at all. But very faintly, just over a day's journey north, hard to tell, maybe a day's journey. Now that's on foot. You guys are on horseback. You could do it in half the time.
Half day.
Because you have, obviously, I mean, horses or orcs aren't known for riding horses, and you haven't seen any horse prints, so they're on foot. You guys are mounted.
Yeah, I'm assuming war tracks would have stuck out a little bit there.
Yeah, you haven't seen anything like that. That's the only mount you've ever known them to be on, but very faintly you can see them straight. I would say straight north of you. So they have deviated from the path. But I must stress it's the faintest sort of detection, so it's either there's a bit of obscurity, maybe if some trees kind of blocking part of your vision, or their numbers. Well, you know their numbers are small. You're looking at well, you got an extraordinary success on your first scan roll. And you know you're looking at 4 individuals. So they haven't, you feel like they haven't met up with more friends the further they've gotten north.
Maybe that's why they're trying to make haste. That would make sense. While they, because if there's only 4 of them, while they probably could have taken a defenseless homestead, if anyone else comes across them, that's not too many for them.
No.
Well, they're obviously headed to Fornost or the Fornost area. The question is, I mean, we're half a day from them, but that would still bring us closer to Fornost. Would I be able to, obviously I'd have to roll well, but would I be able to find a shortcut with Explorer to get us kind of in front of them? Or at least cut the journey time significantly?
Yeah, you could cut the journey time. Explorer would help with that.
Alright. I mean, I'll come down from my perch on the tree carefully, and then I shall inform the others of the developments. Only 4 of them. I think we can take them. I think we can overtake them. Might be able to find a shortcut if the hills treat us right.
Fulvis speaks up. But we would be exposed. We would lose the cover of the trees.
For perhaps a short time. But if we can overtake them before, and I'll say, because you said they're roughly here.
Yeah.
If we can kind of overtake them here, we can still kind of head due east, and it wouldn't seem like we're doing too crazy of a thing where it's like, oh, they're meeting up there. They're just wandering back off into the woods away from Fornos. Because I'm assuming most people just keep away from Forest.
Mm-hmm. That's the attitude in Bree. They don't like to talk about it. They just... It's what you guys discussed in Prancing Pony. From what you'd asked Fulvus, was there any knowledge and stuff about Forest there? And people just mention it's haunted. And that's it. No one goes there. So
We can.
Fulvus would have gotten his maps out and looked at it.
Oh,
And so I'm just imagining what you just pointed out there. I'm just imagining you doing that on the actual maps.
oh yeah, I'm like, if we can cut them off before we get too close to Fornost, we can still cut off into the woods and still be fairly unseen. I would think. Not a map reader, but
Fulvus looks at the maps. You see a slight little nod. Okay. The risk is minimal. What they did to this family is unforgivable.
I can find one way that I can pay back that unforgiving, and I'll just kind of heft my axe.
Fulvus rolls up his maps, tucks it back into his map case, sticks it back into his backpack, looks at you and nods his head.
There were no survivors, right? No,
From the homestead?
yeah,
No.
no evidence of any survivors or anything like that.
No.
Like captives or anything like that.
No, you found... If they were, they carried them. But my God, he got an extraordinary success, so he didn't notice the increased sinking into the ground as if they were carrying more weight.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think there was anything of use because the whole place was burned to the ground. So, and I would have probably picked up something in the house with the scan, if that were the case. So,
Weighing this up from what this, for a month now or over a month now, what's been you're going on with your quest? This seems more like the isolated incident of, just orcs not following a mission. They just came across it, because normally you've seen a pattern of kidnappings and.
What it does hold to, though, is that despite them seemingly not with the mission currently, they are headed to Fornost, which seems to be a gathering point for all of the orcs. And so this could be just an isolated group of 4 orcs. Granted, 4 orcs aren't going to make an army, but if you add them to the overall army, it's still 4 orcs.
Yep.
4 additional bodies they got. So
Definitely. All right. So let's have that explore roll. No.
Yep.
And if you want to spend hope, I don't know if anyone else has got the ability to help.
Well, I have explore. I don't know if I can help just because I have some ability in it.
Yeah, of course you can, but it would be you expending a hope point as well.
I can do that. I'm full of hope.
Oh, that's right.
I'm very hopeful guy. I'm a glass half full guy all the time.
All right. Well, so Jacob, you have 2 spots there to tick for help from a friend, and then a hope bonus for yourself, if you're spending a hope. That is. Too.
I spent a hope there. I just spent a hope.
Yeah, why not? I'll spend a hope. I guess I'm not exactly tracking orcs. I'm trying to find a way around the orcs. So,
Bane, I'm hoping this works.
I am too. There's that. Doesn't have to be nighttime, does it? No.
No, not quite. We're middle of the day. Well, middle of your journey time in the daytime.
Gotcha. How I wish I had Fulfus's maps, because my thing was travel before everything went inverted. All right. Well, then I shall roll.
There you go.
Easy peasy.
Great success. And you get a bonus there. I assume you're going to choose make haste.
I would indeed, if we can make it, because I don't think there's much more information to find out about Fort Works. So,
All right.
tasted it.
Just to put it in perspective, a half a day's journey would put you there at nighttime when they are not, when they're going to be getting up to take off. Because it seems to be that they've been camping during the day when they've got cover of trees. So by the time you get there, well, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a bonus since you got an extra stunt there, but you're going to be catching them right as they're about to take off again.
But we'll be in front of them. Is that how we said it, or
It was
or
about.
just catch up from
It was
behind?
his explorer was about finding a shortcut to get there quicker.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just picturing. Are we in front of them or behind them?
You would still, well, getting there quicker. Then I'm going to give you the option. If you got there quicker, then you could circle around and be in front of them and set up an ambush.
Yeah, because I'd like to just
Ooh,
sit
I like
there
that
and
idea.
hype while they show up, and you guys can be anywhere, and I can, and I feel fairly confident with my orc slaying sword that we'll do all right. I could just sit there with a little campfire and pretend I'm like just this fool out in the middle of nowhere, and you guys can be like right hidden behind something or whatever.
This is becoming a favorite ploy of Harabrand. I love it. This is like the third or fourth time. I love it.
Yeah.
Let the crazy dwarf out of the darkness and attack them.
Okay, I've moved you up there. So I'll let you guys make your decision as to how you wish to do this. Just to set up an ambush. So is that the idea? So you're going to get around in front of them in the logical direction that they would go? Of course, you're going to perhaps make it quite obvious with a small campfire.
Mhm.
Because it is approaching
that would be
nighttime
what
for yourself.
That's what I would do, and I'm sitting there smoking a pipe, and
Okay.
you guys, I don't know what. It depends on what the local, what it looks like, but how we can arrange it. But I could be the bait,
Okay.
this yokel, this fool out in the middle of nowhere.
So we have. Keep in mind now we have Raven, Logan, and Dogan as well with you, and as well as Hogar. Now Hogar will do his normal duty of keeping a hold of the horses.
Yeah, very good. Okay, cool.
Some reason I always imagine him as the cook.
He's a fan. He's like the Chuck Wagon guy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he's makes great chili. Yeah.
Yep. Call him Cookie. Cookie is his nickname.
Right.
So
yeah, Bane. Do you want to be? Well, I could just be there alone, or I could be, have a couple of dwarves that I need to hand off to these orcs. These poor dwarves that I captured, that I'm trying to sell off. I don't know. What do you, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know if they'd have much in term of coin, and they've already proven that they would just kill their captives. And I don't think they're part of that large army.
Maybe they know that they're looking for dwarves around. You know what I mean? They've captured other orcs have captured dwarves and stuff, right?
Well, I don't think these are part of that group yet.
Well, that's fine. I'll just sit by the fire. That's fine with me. I don't really care. I mean, they're dead men. They're dead men walking as it is, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't think. My only thought is I don't think they're part of that main group yet. They're headed to join that. So I don't think, and I don't think they necessarily. Yeah, and I don't think they necessarily know.
Okay. Well, I'm
I
just
mean-
sitting there smoking a pipe and, ask them if they have any rabbit or something that I can cook on the fire.
Yeah.
And then we kill them.
Yeah, my only question, Hairbrand, is because this determines probably if it's you or me sitting by the fire. Is how is your stealth? I know I improved mine, but not by much.
No,
So-
my stealth is still lousy.
Okay, I have one, so
I have one. I have one.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. And
what number do you?
And my wit is 18, so yeah, no, it's no good.
Oh, okay. My
I need
wit's
to increase my wits though, because I'm getting smarter.
All right. Agamandil is a close combat. He doesn't have any range, so he will charge in.
I think he's decent at stealth.
He sure is. He's got 3 dice. Fulvus will, of course, use his bow with his newfound skills. He has a bonus with those things. As far as your environment, it's not dense trees, obviously. But some trees here or there, small little outcroppings, some rocks, small little hills. There is places that you could hide. Not tons.
Maybe I could find a rock that's big enough to like hide a dwarf behind, and I just lean up against it. I have my fire in front of it, and I'm leaning against the rock,
If I huddle down real tight and they're kind of looking like a rock.
it's just like a rock, so I can
Look
rest
like a rock.
it against it, and it's behind me and big enough that it hides a lunatic dwarf.
I mean, I'm a walking metal rock, so I could just hunch down really small, and Yeah, I'm sure
Sit
we'll
on
be
his
fine.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanderer, what is your... so Fulvus is going to get up in a tree to shoot. What are you planning to do? He's going to shoot distance.
I'm gonna do distance as well. Find a tree that I can stand kind of behind. I'm not gonna climb it, but I'll take up a spot that I can use my bow and then charge in.
Raven. She has a spear. And then the 2 other dwarves. Let's see.
Well, we have 3 dwarves. Can we dig a trench? A hole. A foxhole.
Dig a hole.
Yeah.
So they
Just...
Logan's got an axe, and Dogan does as well.
Yeah,
I'd like to see if I can talk to a little birdie to let them. Maybe they'll give me a little heads up before the orcs show up. Give me like a minute or 2 warning. Oh, they're coming.
Well, we'll have a brand. I will let you know. Orcs aren't exactly subtle.
True, but I mean, you never know. I'd rather know ahead of time.
All right. Agamandil, you see him put up the hood of his cloak, draws his sword, and he kind of hunkers down near a tree and pulls his cloak around him. And when he does so, you can hardly notice that he's even there. He has an elven cloak, you see.
Sure.
Elven magic isn't.
And I'll actually be similar, but I mean, mine will be more obvious, obviously, because I don't have an elven cloak. But I'm going to have my sword drawn and on my lap.
All right.
And maybe be sharpening it while I'm smoking the pipe.
Okay. Do you want to see if you can get a bird?
Yeah, let me try and see if I can persuade a bird to help me out.
All right.
Get an owl. They can see in the dark.
Yeah, let's persuade. Okay. Come on, birdie.
Oh.
Oh, too bad. No birds today.
That was a magnificent failure, though.
Yeah, look at that. Your feet die. It's like both of them were low.
Does your sword give off a glow, or is that a special thing? I always forget.
It's a special enchantment that none of your weapons have.
So make sure the orcs aren't going to see your blade and immediately
No.
off.
Yeah. No.
All right. I don't have a map for this, but it's okay. We don't need one. We need to drag tokens out. We'll just drag them out here onto the main map. If you guys want to drag your own tokens out.
Oh, okay.
They'll be giants.
Little bitty hobbit.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me, probably should have had an extra bonus dice because Herobrand was helping me.
Bonus dice for what?
His fellowship focus.
Oh.
It's alright. I just remembered it in the back of my head.
Oh man, see that's we're close to, I think, having all the little small rules down pat, but we keep highlighting some new ones each time, don't we? That's our new one then. Fellowship focus rules. Let's get those right.
Because you get an extra 1d point for point spent to assist.
We need to add that to our summary sheets.
Yeah.
It's in the I put it in the fellowship to remember. I just didn't have the fellowship one open. So
It's in my token out. Sorry.
You just drag it from the side. Just left click and drag. It's definitely not to scale here.
Then you have Talendil, all small, hiding out in the woods over here.
Yeah. Smaller than a hobbit. All right. So ignore the map behind. I do need to get a lot more generic, just wilderness battle maps. I just keep using that same one with that path that we've used, but we don't really have a path on this. I know what I can do. Hold on, let's do this a bit nicer. I've got that other map. We always drag all our tokens out. We'll just do it again. It's all right. Here we go. Well, you've already got some tokens out. At the bottom there.
No.
Hey, Chris.
Hey guys, sorry about being late. For some reason, I thought this was at 2 to 6. I think last time we played, it was at 2.
We started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think last time Andy had an appointment or something.
Oh yeah, we started. Yeah. It's all right.
Sorry. All you missed was the burned down homestead, and now we're about to ambush 4 orcs.
Who did it?
You have climbed in a tree.
Have we started heading towards Fornest yet?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
And I'll catch up. I'm just getting some stuff set up on them. Oh, you're still logging in. That's cool. We're just about to. I'm just setting up some tokens.
Cool. All right.
And
yeah,
so,
I was just eating lunch, and then I came back, checked my Discord, and saw the notifications.
like, oh no.
Yeah, what do you think, Bane?
Well, I mean,
where's the
unless you're
as a rock?
Unless you're sticking hard to the rock. I mean, you could always just say ledge, and I could just be on the ledge.
Okay, that works. My back up against the ledge, and you can jump down screaming like a banshee.
Oh,
Yeah, like I'm over here, maybe. And you could be in the bushes. You could be in the bush behind me there. Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, Ankamando.
Okay, so that's where you're gonna set up your little camp.
I'll let Chris. Oh, you're on. I'll let you decide where you want to go, Chris. They're coming north, the orcs, and you guys have circled around ahead. And you can change what you wanted to do, but I as NPC, and you had decided you were going to climb a tree and use your bow. But now that you're here, you can change that.
Yeah, let me double check what my range is. Let's see, weapon range.
Right here.
10 plus strength. 13.
It occurs to me these guys are about to get murked because I think there's also like 4 NPCs on this map.
Oh, yep. Forgot
A
about
little
that.
fire. That white thing is my little fire.
Oh, I was going to say, what is this? Hold on, let's see. Ah, here we go.
Oh, there you go.
I'll make it smaller, though. That's otherwise...
Yeah.
I forgot I'd made that. Just, you never know when you need one.
If Agamemnon's that close, I'll probably be in the bush down here. Then I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I'm just having him kind of use the tree cover to kind of help with his elven cloak. Were you climbing the tree there, Wanderer, with your bow?
No, I'm gonna kind of stand behind it and stay out of their view.
Logan and Dogan will be in the back. Oops, not in the same spot. Hiding behind this tree, but up on the cliff so they could charge in. I can do a
Right
bane.
after
Yeah, they can do a bane and dive off the cliff. That was such a
they're
great
following
move. Sorry, what?
As they're following his lead.
Yeah. We want to do that too. All right, hold on. Where are they at? Raven. Raven. She's gonna be with. She's gigantic. Let's make her smaller. There. All right, Hogar. I'm gonna put him out here, but I'm gonna put him way up here, further to the north with the horses, so that the sound of them doesn't spook the orcs. All right. Chris, so what was the plan is Harobrand is doing his regular being the bait, sitting there smoking a pipe. And what had happened was that Bane had climbed up a tree and scouted out. He found the trails. He got an extraordinary success on his tracking. And then he climbed up a tree to see if he could see how far away they had gone. And then put a lot of effort into an explorer roll and found a shortcut, so you guys have gone up on ahead and set up this ambush. They had killed a family and burnt their homestead down. And it looks like it wasn't necessarily part of a mission, because normally you know, there's in the business a lot of people being kidnapped. So these are orcs are just having a joy sort of.
These are what you would call freelance orcs.
Yeah.
Okay, and are we in the North Downs? Actually, I could check them, right?
It's on the Eriador map is accurate as to where. I'm gonna get these tokens off of there, because now that I've got a map, we can use that instead. So you can see the fellowship token there. That's how far you've gone. So
Okay.
your original plan was to leave the greenway here and use the cover of trees, come through here, but you found the homestead right there. So you decided to further it north, and then once you dealt with them, you're going to head straight east to get into the trees and then meet up with Talendale.
Yeah,
That's-
Bane had kind of discussed with you a little bit because you full of us brought up a concern, and basically Bane said if we can go here and then cut there, it still looks kind of normal, and we haven't given ourselves away too much because most people stay away from Fornost, at least what you said, and we kind of could still look like we're just going east rather than to our destination to Talendale, so we could still kind of cut east. And then,
Okay, and is Talendale a ranger that's been scouting for us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the head of. Well, he's kind of unofficially Wanderer's superior. He's a legendary ranger, and he's kind of headed up the investigation into the bandit activity.
Okay.
It's probably. I think they have like rangers and then like senior rangers.
Yeah.
Like, probably.
Yeah, he's not like the king, obviously. That would be Aragorn, but well,
In
not at this
general
time.
terms of things, I'm still the new guy.
Yeah. Well, at this time, Aragorn's a young man enough. But they were hearing.
Hmm.
All right.
But yes, Bane really dislikes orcs. Is what that was fault.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So everyone's set then. I think we've got all the organization sorted out.
Okay.
And
Well, as I hear them start coming up, I'm sure they're making a little bit of a noise, right?
oh yeah.
Okay, give me a second here. Well, where is it? I sit humming a tune while I'm sharpening my sword and smoking my pipe. I sit beside the fire and think of all that I have seen, of meadow flowers and butterflies in summers that have been, of yellow leaves and gossamer in autumns that there were, with morning mist and silver sun and wind upon my hair. I sit beside
you?
the fire and think of... Oh! Who's there?
And coming out, it's not pitch dark. It is dark enough for your ability, Bane, but
Okay.
but you are where's it at? Yeah, we are a waning moon at this point. So there's a little bit of moonlight that's helping with this, but the firelight extends enough. And you see, it is indeed 4 orcs.
Okay.
And the distraction, I mean, you notice this, Fulvis and Wanderer, they didn't even look slightly in your direction. The firelight in front of them, a smoking human
Singing.
and singing, a smoking, singing human. They're not looking anywhere else. Or at least not up anyway. You can see them looking left and right. And
Do you fellows know how far it is to Bree? I seem to be lost.
You're very far away from Bree.
Oh, could you point me in the right direction?
You won't be needing that.
I won't be needing the direction to Bree?
No, because you're not going.
Oh. Because I hear they have a graveyard there.
Well,
And I
that's all
stand
right.
up. And I stand up and I ache to fill it. And I charge.
You can see they're about to make a smart comment.
I will also then probably charge if that is the case.
Okay. So, according to the rules, if the situation is warranted, we don't need to roll for this. That you clearly have the surprise. And I'm going to put you all into a combat tracker. This will not take long, since there's a small army of you guys. Almost like 2 to 1, I think. Why is... I added this.
I'm glad the fire pit has around. It needs to burn some foes.
Huh. Why wouldn't it let me put you in all at once? I have to do it individually.
For me, it showed up for a second, along with the campfire in the loadout, and then.
Oh, I didn't see the campfire, but yeah, the campfire would be a token that is.
And then it all went away. So I was
Yeah,
like,
it
oh,
didn't even stick. It didn't even. I saw it kind of flicker, but I didn't see anything show up. All right, there we all are. So, I'm going to skip past opening volley because this is happening all at once. So to begin combat, first choose your stances. Gamandil will be in forward. It's his normal way of doing things.
I currently had my bow out, so I'm gonna stay rearward for this volley.
Yes, although I am good. Well, obviously you'll get to go before everyone else, but because you guys have surprised him, I'm going to give you a +1 on your attack.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I'm going to go open stances for Raven and 2 dwarves. Okay. Forward stances. Herobrand, Bane, and Angamandil. You have a fire between you.
Is it a little fire? Can I leap it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it like...
Yeah, I won't make you roll for that one.
Okay. Then I'm just going to jump over and kill that guy.
Okay.
Hopefully.
And Bane, I believe you are... I'm not sure if the scale is quite right here. What did it show up as your distance? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can do that in attack.
Yeah, he's still within close distance of me.
Yeah.
Very few people are.
Yeah, it's true. And Agamandil throws off his cloak, comes around this tree to this orc here.
Yeah, as I said, dwarves are very dangerous over short distances.
Alright. Hopefully there's enough left for you two in the tree. I am going to make the other 3 NPCs wait. Fact is, I think I'll give you 2 in the tree a shot out of order before those 3 in the back go.
Oh.
Anyway, remember you've got a +1 for all of you? For just this one attack. The next attack will be, you won't have that bonus anymore.
Let's see, let me see. I got to select the guy, right?
Yeah, it's double right click.
Right click.
Double right click on to target.
Close. Select token. Double right click.
There you go.
T also works.
Oh, does it? Oh.
See, huh? Now you tell us.
Oh, I
all right.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'm going first. Is that all right? With
Sorry?
Or do I go first then, or?
well, you set it off.
Yeah.
It's nice to set it off, sort of. I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's keep in mind. So, remember, I made that other document of summary of all your bonuses.
Right.
Are you using?
I think
Yeah, I'm using Ur Dagner.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me look at that.
What is your valor? What is
my
your
valor? My valor is 2, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, right. So an 8 or above, you're going to score a piercing blow on an orc.
Nice. What is your? I always forget what your mighty dragon.
And then okay.
All
And
attacks
then-
are favored against
okay.
all mighty.
All right, and so then I'm adding a die to it, correct?
Yep.
A bonus die. Okay. Penalty another penalty of another bonus die. Ba. Okay, roll.
Piercing blow.
Yeah. All right, and then
What was your? Oh, you rolled a 10 anyway on that.
Yeah.
Let's see the orc's protection roll.
great. He is wounded. Okay.
He's more than that. He is.
Well,
Yeah, so it pierces. I'm going to say it pierces through his chest, comes out his back, and I am going to say, Orc Slayer. Orc Slayer was thirsty, and pull it back. The graveyard will be filled soon.
Okay,
All
Bane, I'll let you go first before Agamandil.
right. I set an extra bonus dice for that.
Yeah, don't forget that
All
one.
right. But I think that's everything. Good.
8 damage. Oops, wrong one. You have hurt him significantly. And the look on his face is one is like this charge, completely unaware. And then boom, right across him. Alright, Agamandil draws his sword. Already had it drawn, but and already a +1 die. Yeah, 'cause your forward stance, you already had a +1. And I did make this public. There you go. And 5 points to him. Oh, well, Wanderer and Fulvis, they have left some for you.
so I'm gonna step out from behind this tree so I can get a better aim at this orc closest to me. And I'm gonna fire my bow. Well, shit.
Did you add the +1?
I did.
Okay. Oh, it was your feet die that really did it for you. You get a 1 on that, and then one of your successes was a 1. Yeah, sorry, no other ways around that. Okay, Fulvis. I believe you've already got that one, same one targeted.
Yep. And then, do I get a bonus die as well?
Yes, you do. I'm just looking at your skills. All ranged attacks are favored. Don't forget that one.
Yeah, I think that does it already. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. I have to put that in.
Yeah, all the cultural virtues don't show up in the coding. Wow.
Wow.
That was a nice one.
You should have a pop-up window to give you an option. Piercing blow.
Yep.
Protection roll. One shot.
I get an arrow into his neck.
Yeah. He falls over.
Down he goes.
Okay. I'll have Dogan and Logan run and jump. They're bigger than you, but they're not. It's resizing the tokens. It's a pain in the butt. Raven, come down this way. She can't get a clear shot from the trees. I'll never get to that far. Dogan is charging for this one then. Roll. X. He doesn't get his.
Don't worry, boys. There's plenty for everyone.
Yes, indeed. Look at this. Great success. It's going to do a heavy blow. 12 damage. Comes through and takes that axe right through his skull, right in the top. And the orc's eyes just go cross-eyed and drop to the ground. And Logan, I'm going to have him wait there because it's kind of crowded where you're at, and doesn't want to steal your shot from you, Bane. And
they know I'll go between Bane's axe and an orc.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have this one orc reacting. I have to move him back because he just targeted himself. Because the token bit overlapped you. So I'll move him back.
At this
up.
point, he's like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
You should not have torched that farmstead.
Oh my god. I'll show you this. Look at that. The days
Oh my
of my
gosh.
bad rolling, the days of those bad rollings are gone. Okay, well, he's not going to get a piercing blow, so he's got a double heavy blow here, so you should be able to deal with it. 9 damage.
Alright. Oh, there's gonna be someone to take the Bane.
Yeah.
Man, quit toying with him.
And top of the round, Bane, I will let you go ahead and...
Can we change combat stances?
Oh, yes, you can. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm
Remember,
going to
no
change
extra
their
+1
sword.
this time.
You know, I really want this guy dead.
Yeah. Man, quit toying with him.
Yeah, quit touring with him. Oh, I'm about to. Oh, bonus. Alright, inspired. Make sure that's everything, because the bonuses.
Yeah, remember, you don't have that extra +1 this time.
Oh, I basically do, because I'm about to spend a hope point.
Oh, I see.
Alright.
Jesus.
35 is a big number.
Yeah. Not quite a piercing blow yet, but, you know, I'll take it.
16 damage.
16 damage.
Yeah, I'll take the hit, but I'll stick to it back. So yeah, he hits Bane in like the shoulder, which rears his arm back, and he hits it right under the breastplate and tears upwards towards the shoulder and spray it.
Yeah, you guys have got a bit of black blood just kind of over you guys. And that brings an end. Revenge has been obtained.
And so I sit beside the fire and think of how the world will be when winter comes without a spring that I shall ever see. Anyway,
So, it is nighttime. You've already got a fire going.
Oh.
You want to make camp here?
I mean, we'll drag the dead orc bodies off. Or,
Yeah, that's not very appetizing. To
either that or we'll move the campfire just to, you know, I don't know, maybe to this, like, copse here or something. Because you can always move a fire. Got it slowly, but now we're not in a rush.
Yeah, we've already got some coals and stuff that you can easily just transfer, get a new fire going.
scoop them up in an orc helmet and dump it somewhere else.
Let's not get carried away. I don't want our campfire to smell like dead orc.
No, just their helmet. You know, it's like a coal scuttle.
They're like skunks. It just gets everywhere. And I mean, I doubt they did, but nothing on them.
No, they're just, they've got their wicked notched scimitars, but Just some basic orc armor. Just some.
A little cornstalk doll of Sally's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just some orc leather armor of sorts. But there's no, you don't find anything. Other
Covering
than
my
that,
base.
Nothing of value.
no, definitely not. They didn't even bother to raid the home that they set fire to. Well, clearly not. You don't find anything from them. Just evil sport.
Yep.
All right. So, going back to the
Hogar.
area door map.
Hogar comes back with the horses. Oh, I missed it.
Again.
Cookie. Yeah. But I made some good chow mein.
All right. So, on the area door map, you are there making camp. Now, the campfire you built was one to make attention. Are you going to go back to your
Yeah.
more
you don't wanna
secretive sort of
make it-
campfires?
Yeah, just little holes to. Yeah. I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can hide, majority
just
of
make
it.
some holes and kind of dig it into a hole, so it's below the horizon. You get some heat from it, but not a lot of flame. And
Agamandil mentions this is one part of our plan that we didn't consider, and that we would be this close to Fornost and perhaps heavy traffic from the enemy when we camped. There are enough of us here, I would suggest perhaps that we set 2 as a guard for while we sleep.
it's reasonable.
Sure. I don't see why not.
I'll stand on first watch with somebody if they want.
I shall join you.
Okay.
I guess I'll be second watch with someone.
Agamandil's.
I'll join
Okay, go ahead.
my
Chris.
dwarf friend.
All right.
I'll join my dwarf friend on the second watch.
Ah, yes. Always good company. Is more of that pipe weed you were talking about?
Yeah, I bought a little bit while I was in Brie. I filled up my pouch. That was one thing I did.
Yeah, I do have a little bit. That specialty Shire South Farthing pipe weed. Something else.
Okay. You guys are at because you're set around with a rest. Do we want to divvy up some of those fellowship points to replenish hope? We have 6.
Well, I know where I'm at. Can we post the?
Oh yeah,
fellowship thing?
yeah. Let me do that. I'll put it where you're all sitting at. There you go.
I feel I'm good.
I'm good as well.
I've got 6.
So how many we have? Six to divvy out.
Yep.
I think Bane could use a few.
Yeah, you want to? I don't know. Do
And Agamandil. is a
yeah,
couple.
like
3 for Bane,
like 3 for Bane and then
2 for Agamandil, and 1 for Wanderer.
yeah, or vice versa. Yeah, something like that.
Saul, what are you thinking for yourself?
That works for that.
2 points
One's
for you.
fine. No, one's fine because Agamandil's down more than me.
Oh, I see.
Bane
It.
definitely.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Bane, you
you-
take 3,
He's-
Okay.
And give one to Agamandil. Or 2 to Agamandil.
Yeah, 2. And I'll take 1.
All right.
7 now.
And all right, and then your fellowship is now out of fellowship points. Okay.
We prolonged rest, right? Is that...
Yes, it'll be a prolonged rest, so you guys can all should go ahead and should be able to click that.
Oh, right. I did it manually. I could have done the hope points from this pop up, but that's fine. I forget it has a pop up for it. All right.
I forget what the pop up looks like for it.
Because it allows you to spend from the community.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's interesting. We've all done this manually. Is everyone else at full health? What's Agamandil at?
Yeah, that was just a nasty bruise that Bane got from that orc.
Yeah.
Yes, my friend, you have to be more careful.
Well, you
Don't
see,
toy with them.
us
It can be dangerous.
It could, but you always need some scars, some stories. Isn't that right, boys?
Well,
No.
That was more talk, Logan and Dogan. But
All right. Yeah, they're like, yeah.
For the dwarf maidens.
Them too. One other thing, Chris, what you had missed that you had when you came across the homestead. I rolled for you, but you ended up gaining a shadow point from it. Most people did too, actually. Most of the rest of the party did too. So you set at 2 points now. Okay. You get through the evening. Despite being this close, you get through without any disturbance. And the morning comes. And I've got to... That's the 20th of Yvonnia. You reckon you're about perhaps a day's journey from the northern bit of the Weather Hills where the trees start there, if you're going to head straight east. So we'll start off the day with a travel roll from Fulvis, please.
That was right.
Oh,
That
failure.
was not a great roll.
It was not a great roll. It's all right. Let's see.
at a certain point, I need to swap my travel item for your map item for Explorer.
What do you mean?
I just have what is it, the small items or whatever, because I have a Sunstone for travel because I originally was going to do travel. And I think he has Explorer because he originally was going to do Explorer. So we just need to swap those at some point. I'll hand you the Sunstone. You can hand me the whatever gives you Explorer.
That's fine though, but you know, something else we had talked about. Different parts of Middle Earth, you know, east of the mountains, it might be better for you to be the guide.
True. Familiarity, I suppose.
All right. Now, I'm on the wrong tab. wish I would stop closing things when I need them. I do it to get them out of the way, and it's like, but now I need it again. Okay. Bane, I need you to make an explorer roll, please.
All right.
Wow. All right.
I think Bane's only okay in combat today, but his skill rolls, I must say, I'm liking today.
Yes, you are. What had happened this part of the journey, because you're, deviated from your original plan from Bree, but you kind of lost your way a bit, or about to, and then you found a way through. You kind of run into some briars and kind of a bad path, but you had found the way through. I kept any further problems from happening. I forgot.
Got further closer to the hills, found a passage through 2 hills,
Yeah.
dwarf knows the... See, well, passing over them is okay. We could always pass under them, but that's to have to dig.
Yeah. Your fatigue levels right now, Bane, do you have 1, and Falvis 5, Wanderer 2, and the Hairbrand 1?
I do have 1. It says yes.
Yep, I have 5.
Okay.
I think more than the rest of us because of the previous journey. Unfortunately, did not go so well for some travel checks.
No, it did not. So far, we've don't add them to your character sheet right now, but we've gained 3 more. But there's a roll you make at the end of the journey, and then you subtract also from your mount. But don't add them to your character sheet just yet. I'm changing them on the journey log.
Gotcha.
And I think a better way of doing this, because the journey log was showing up your current fatigue, I'm going to make the journey log, I don't know if you guys remember it, it's the new thing that's part of the coding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make the journey log what you've gotten prior to making your travel roll at the end of it. And then whatever that roll is, then you're going to add it to your character sheet. But otherwise, I got to keep track of it separately.
I think that's what we did. We just haven't created a new journey path because officially the journey path was to Bree. So.
True, you're right. Yes. I'm going to save us that because you're about to the end of your journey. So rather than make a new one, Journey to Bree Plus, we'll rename it. Okay, so you've done a day's journey, and you do get to the northern foothills of the Weather Hills, and under cover of trees. In fact, I'll put you a little bit beyond that, put you right into the trees there.
And it said something specific for extraordinary success in journey, right? Because I think it's different. I don't get to choose one of those special things. It's just something good happens in the journey. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. It's just to overcome. It's if you really only need to pass it, but sometimes I might give an extra bonus. But you would have all gained some shadow if you'd failed it. The whole party would have.
Okay.
But that's why I'm putting you a little bit further into the trees itself. Technically, you are. Can't get my pointer small enough, but you are. It doesn't really give you any indication, does it? And this is too big. Technically, It's like, yeah, it's the same thing. Technically, you're without the bonuses, you wouldn't be quite into the cover of trees.
Yeah, because I guess depending on what you're doing, it either gives you more hexes or it gives you less fatigue or
It,
some combination there too.
there's that. It would have been shadow points. You guys would have gained if you'd have failed it, just from
Gosh.
despair of like, oh, we've lost our way, sort of thing. And so you get to there, and it is time. It's evening comes upon you. Yes, that's true. Because travel is a little bit slower when you're off the road. Just want to mark it off on the calendar before I forget.
Well, one of the bright points is I think I could be wrong. Doesn't Wanderer, since she's a ranger, have like something that makes them all Borderlands or something, or is that a special feature? That might be a special feature.
You mean like a cultural virtue thing? She has some things for hunting.
There's one that like all certain wilds of Borderlands versus something else. I think that's.
Oh, Ways of the Wild. Let me look that up. So I forget.
I put it on the summary journal for you.
Okay. Whenever you're making a roll using Explore, Hunting, Travel, spend 1 hope to get a magical success. You're always allowed to cover more than 1 roll during a journey.
That would be like, when I can't remember if it was in the book or not, but in the film, when Aragorn puts his ear to the ground and can tell the orcs changing direction when they were pursuing for Merry and Pippin. That would be that type of thing, magical of sorts. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, Bane. There was something like that I read somewhere. I don't know if it was maybe
Ranger.
Maybe it wasn't Ranger.
Yeah. Furry, maybe. Be weird.
Or maybe another culture that you guys haven't chosen.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. Is the morning, or it's the evening, sorry, you just arrived here. A little bit more secluded. And let's see if you're going to continue to double up the guards, or you're going to go back to a single guard.
I mean, there's no harm in doing 2 at the moment since we have
Yeah,
people.
we have plenty of people, so I would suggest, keeping it double as long as we have people for it.
Wow. As if.
I don't know what other people think.
Double means longer shifts. Singles mean shorter. It's only. But of course, with double, if somebody dozes off.
Oh. Did you know, Wanderer, that you're allowed to cover more than 1 roll during a journey?
That's what Ways of the Wild said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the coding doesn't allow me to drag you into more of the places on the fellowship sheet. I'm not sure if you've got skill sets that makes you. Well, you can be a hunter and a lookout. Because I know you've got good hunting.
Yeah. My awareness is 3 and favored. Hunting is high.
Alright.
And an explorer too, but they're not favored. Travel is also a 2.
So do we want to do 1 or 2?
We can do 2. I don't see why not.
Two works. Like you said, we got enough people.
Yeah, 2's good.
And the night ain't that long with as
Yeah.
many people as we have.
Right, you're still doing probably 2-hour shifts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is it the same order that you guys are doing? So
Might as well keep it that way, you guys. Is that
Her, yeah.
Yeah.
who has the second shift?
That'd be Bane and Bulbous.
Okay.
I chose Bane as the second just because it's still nighttime in case I need to use that.
Ah, right, of course. Smart move, actually. All right. Whilst you are sat round your fire, you have the cover of trees. But everything gets really, really quiet.
And abnormally dark again.
Yeah.
Why?
And then shortly after that, you see a glow from behind the trees, moving. And out steps a figure you recognize from before. It's Veradrun. And you haven't seen her in a while. It's been since the Etten
It's around.
Kind of wake the others. Well, I'll wake the. I'll be a dwarf. I'll kick someone to my left and nudge someone with my axe to the right.
What is it?
And I'll point to Eremina coming up.
And then rub the sleep out of my eyes and look. Oh, I see. Can I tap whoever's next to me?
She's standing there watching patiently with a smile on her face.
Oh, probably. It occurs to me we have others here. I shall inform them that this is not an enemy.
True, I forgot that Raven and Logan and Dogan. What's this?
Feather her with arrows. Yeah.
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 And she steps forward. Now, the last time you saw her, she had some wounds, and she explained to you that that he had noticed her missing. Mormog had, and it punished her. And she comes closer to you. And, greetings, travelers. It's been a little while since I have seen you. How does it go on your quest?
It goes well. We are continuing on our mission to hinder Mormog and I always mispronounce his name.
Radghoul.
Radghoul. Always the D. Radghoul. And hopefully find what we need to free you.
I'm forever in your debt. I have come not just to check up on you, but I have gained some information that may prove useful to you. It's strange that through all of my accomplishments, I have become a spy. But I overheard a conversation with Mormog. And his lieutenants. And here in the West, there was another agent of Radgul. Basically, he's the Mormog of this area. Mormog is taking care of the eastern part of the operation, where I first met you. But the western part here, their efforts of subjugating Eriador, they're coming at it from both sides. This agent is known as Vrak. I gather from discussion he is an orc of great size. Also, a lieutenant of Radgul. And I came to warn you of this. Despite being distant from Mormog, you are not out of danger. Vrak is known to be quite ruthless. Not that any orc is known to be generous, but he is quite dangerous. I may be of assistance to you. If you should need it. I will keep...
Well, I would not to put you in danger, my lady.
If I keep my visits brief, and I must be going very soon. But I will try to keep tabs.
Do you know where Vrak is based here?
I only know that he mentions the hills that are northwest from here. He didn't get more specific than that.
Now, you've said he's a lieutenant of Radgul. Is he trying to influence or usurp him?
Unknown, but I would not be surprised. That is the way of these foul creatures. Mormog himself, I know, has grand designs of becoming the leader. Hopes to impress the evil one.
Well, if they were to subjugate those in Mount Graham under their will, they would be far more dangerous.
And that is what we all fear. But my friends, I must be going. Or I fear being discovered. But I'll leave you with this. When your situation looks dire, look to my coming.
Nod.
Fare thee well. And she stands up, nods, walks behind a tree, and the glow fades and doesn't come out the other side. Oh, but I just saw what you put up there, Bing. That is perfect. That's exactly how I imagined her too.
Yeah, I can choose one if you'd like, or if you want more options.
Oh,
But
wow. I like the top right hand.
okay.
My favorite one. But I'll have them all because different action shots. Here's Faradrin walking through the woods, lower left. Top left, here's Faradrin, not sure if she can trust you. But Logan's looks to you, Bane. Is what was that?
So I'll go. Hard to explain, but I guess the best way is spirit. Sort of. It's hard to explain. She's on our side from what I can tell, but being held prisoner by some form of magic.
Agamandil turns to him and says, "She is one of the Maiar from ancient times."
Didn't know if you would know what that meant. Sorry.
No, but Agamandil, I know that he would say that because it's elves for you, you know.
Right.
Don't you know? Don't you have centuries of lore crammed into?
You heathen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know all. Our Lord and Savior Allah.
Oh, well,
All right.
is Vrock spelled VROCK or VROK?
Second one, VROK.
Okay.
Okay. It's not a demon bird. Got it.
Demon bird god.
No, demon bird guy. The
Is
D&D
there-
rock.
Oh,
Demon.
I'm not aware of that.
No reference. I didn't me either.
Is it a type of creature in D&D or a specific individual? Ah,
Jacob.
there it is.
Yeah, I'm talking. Yeah.
Oh, are you showing a picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that thing.
No, definitely not that. Although that would be quite wicked to throw at you. All right.
Definitely a new one in the Lord of the Rings world.
And there's the
That's
individual.
what she looks like when she's mad.
Oh, the third one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what's going to happen if she gets free, and what she might do to Mormog. I know you might want the glory, but she may have a hand in that as well. All right. Why don't we pause for a break? We're at the halfway point, and then we can carry up with
Bio
it.
break.
Yeah, not a long one, really. Well, not for me anyway. And then we can pick up
All ready?
to complete the journey to Talendale.
Right.
I put the.
Saw those. Yeah, I'll Okay. Good morning. Music's too loud. It's also too pleasant. Okay, so you are. Let's back to the area door map. And you're going to be going northeast. Pretty much making a straight line for Talendale. Are you going to be starting to steer clear of the ruins on the hill there? To make sure you're going this way and not like...
Yeah,
I would suggest we probably do until we talk to Talendale, because he would know better.
Well, yeah, he was. I think he said he was spying on
Yeah,
that or something in the hill. So we'd probably do something like
Yeah.
hop to these woods and then hop to these woods over there.
yeah, I mean, that would be my suggestion till we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, if he's not in the ruins, there's a reason he's not in the ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, the spot on your map is where Raven said that he would be, whether he's there or not. Obviously, you can't see him
Right.
yet, but all right. To journey on, we need another travel roll from Fulvus, please.
Yep.
Success. Cool.
I'm glad you were favored on that.
Yes. Oh God, I just saw. Yeah, that's something else we discussed before you got here, Chris. Is that your eye awareness is getting really high. You guys are unaware of what this means as characters, but you're close to being on the radar of Sauron himself. All right. Let me calculate what's happened. Okay, I have a hunters. Need to make a roll.
All right.
And if you wanted to, Saul, you could also roll. Since you can
I was
cover,
just about to ask that.
since you can cover 2 rolls.
Okay, we both can roll then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extra meat on the table.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Failure.
Oh, shit.
We're going hungry.
We're going hungry.
It's roots and berries again.
Unbeknownst to each other, you're tracking each other.
Yeah.
All right.
And we rolled the exact same thing too. 13.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, in that case,
Lucky
you
number
all
13.
you all starve.
Yeah.
Um.
I'm starving.
Both of you gain a shadow point.
Oh my goodness.
Being this close and the weight of
Oh my goodness. I've
keeping
heard
it.
of these things. I've heard of these things before,
Well, shadow
but I've
points.
never had one.
Oh,
I'm up to 3. Yay.
As long as they don't exceed your
Are
health.
they temporary? Is that what this is? Or is it
you can
permanent?
remove them in fellowship phases.
So put it in the temporary box there.
Yeah, you can't do it in the big one anyway. When you do it in the temporary, it fills in the big box.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Well, there's the other Shadow Scars box.
Don't put it in the Shadow Scar.
Yeah,
well,
don't
my
put it in Shadow Scar.
I can't believe.
As-
So this is what it feels like. Oh my gosh.
So you're both feeling, a lot of dread from this, and
Oh, wait.
They thought they saw a rabbit, but it was a ghost rabbit. This place is haunted.
Oh, scrapped.
yeah, Wander, you could have used your ability.
Oh, I forgot about that. No, I was just looking at Mirror. I'm like, wait, can it do something with Shadow? But no.
No, only with hope and other stuff. Yeah, so you have. It was on the road. You're getting close to where your alleged destination is. And you've all had to tighten your belts up a little bit. To use the phrase from the books.
Glad I purchased those extra rations and brewery.
Yeah, no fresh meat on this. And just when you're starting to feel a little bit, down from that, and you continue your journey, you hear from the trees around you, better late than never. And shortly after that, Talondale pokes his head out from some branches, and you see a number of other, you suspect, rangers. And by the time you get there, I can advance the day. It's the middle of the next day. It is now the weekend. Keep getting the wrong tool. And he is indeed in the area where you expected him to be. And you see, he has, you count 3 others, clearly rangers, who are with him. I'm glad you're east, and they get out of the trees. I had begun to worry about you. What has happened to you? Did you encounter troubles on your journeys?
We were delayed.
Well, you're here now. I'm afraid the situation is quite grim, but I'm awaiting the 4 dwarves to return from their scouting. I expected them yesterday.
Bane just kind of gives a look like and says, "You sent them out to scout."
They demanded it. Was a better way of putting it.
Yes, that's more accurate. That I believe.
Indeed.
Sure, Logan is laughing in the background.
Dinar and Einar, the concept of being, scouting, getting information is not to their liking. They just wanted to charge in. It took a lot of convincing, the patience, because if I am right, there is no small number of the enemy awaiting. But I'm going to give them until the morning, and if not, then we'll consider other options.
Well,
But
we have learned a lieutenant of the enemy is about in these hills somewhere.
yes, how? Come,
A great orc.
come to the camp.
Oh,
We have a camp set up. Being out here, it's a little more secluded, and he leads you just a little ways to the north, slightly west, northwest. And you can see that he's chosen a spot that is kind of surrounded densely by trees, and it's kind of, down deep. The ground kind of sinks down there, so it kind of obscures vision. And then there's, plant life around, so it's quite secluded there. And you can see that, although a ranger can make camp without making a lot of obvious signs, but you can see that they have been there for a while.
While this makes a lot more sense, is it wrong of me to assume that I just assumed they were sleeping in those trees they just popped out behind? They just were like that.
Yeah. Now that we're here, please, what have you learned?
There's a great orc lieutenant overseeing this area by the name of Rock. Especially ruthless and officially has ties with both Mormog and Radghoul.
This is grave news. I do recall hearing of Avrak, but I had no idea he was here. He was. So
I do not know if he's at the specific spot you have posted, but he is at least in these hills.
Interesting. I had last heard of him operating up in the north, in the ruins of Angmar. Here. What is going on?
Also, orcs are gathering near Fornost and nearby. What delayed us slightly was we encountered some in the hills of Rudar and eliminated a camp with them there and a scouting party. What did he say?
Well done on that.
Oh. And then we trekked to Weathertop and found out from Moonwolf that even more had been spotted heading the east side north through the Weather Hills. He is fine, by the way. We did run into him.
Yeah. He's a good man.
Yeah. Actually, did he come with us?
No, he stayed there.
Okay. And then, even just random roaming small orcs we ran into up the Greenway. They had raised a homestead, and I'm sure it's his area. I'm sure he knows roughly what we're talking about if I describe the area. And
Most rangers would.
Yeah.
and we eliminated them. There were but 4, but
That
I
is
don't know, a
4
day or
less that we have to deal with later.
yes, and the family is avenged. And it was, I don't know, a day or 2 from Fornost itself, maybe more.
You say that is where they were headed?
They seem to be heading north, so either Fornost or past it, into the hills.
I suspect the 4 dwarves will come with a similar story. I fear my suspicions are correct. Well, let me catch you up with what I have learned.
Also, we would have filled him in on the settlement over here that they should watch out for every so often.
They are brave. And I hope and trust that we could thwart this orc business long before it becomes a threat for their area further. Wander, when I met with you several weeks ago in Bree, we met to discuss the bandit situation.
Yes.
The increased presence. And I had told you at that point that I suspected a base of operations here in the North Downs. And I was correct on that. There are a number of small little outposts, generally ruins of small keeps, or craggy outcropping of bandits here and there in this area. And that is what we always thought that the most of it was. But they've begun organizing. We have not dared to get any closer, but we have followed several trails of bandits heading towards one spot.
Where would that spot be?
Do you have a map with you?
Indeed. And I pull out my map case and unroll my maps.
That's right, I forgot you had maps too. So if you're all on the area door map. Directly west of us here is one of those such small keeps with an outpost. I don't know if my drawing tool doesn't screw up. I'm going to try to do just a dot. No luck. Okay. There. Gee. Jesus. That's not what I tried to draw, but alright. That is at any given time 4, 5, 6. Oh, I should have done that. Yeah, let me delete mine. How did you get it that small?
After you click it, then it has a handle around it.
Oh, of course it does. There it is. I'm hitting on the spot. There's only ever somewhere a handful of bandits there. They come and go. But the activity that we see. Let's see if I can make one. Okay, mine's got a green center.
When you shrink it, it's going to get so small the center goes away.
Oh, I didn't mean to draw another one. Damn it. There we go. What? Yours deleted. Hey, why can't I move it without resizing it?
That's been my problem.
Well, I could move yours without resizing it. Oh, there we go. You have to click right in the center.
There, now I got it. Okay.
See, to also be fair, unless I have just made it, everything else I still can't like reselect. So like that giant red line of our trail previously, can't delete it. Just won't let me.
Really?
Yeah, it just doesn't let me like
Huh.
select anything. I don't know why it does it, but it just does it on occasion.
Have
Or
you?
like that red the North Downs. Nothing.
Do you? When you click the pencil tool on the second column that pops up, there should be a broken square at the top. Even using that, you can't drag over it to select it.
Try this one again. Nope, nothing.
Weird.
Like after I make it, like unless I just make it and delete it, it's fine. But if like I come back later, it just won't let me. It's just the thing that occurs.
Well,
Aha.
I can select it to delete. That's weird. That was not a player. Okay. Anyway, by the by.
There.
So he indicates on your map where I've put that purple little dot,
Was the purple dot?
just north of your white dot.
Okay.
Can you see it? Yeah. It is here that many roads from different roving bandits lead. From undercover, from where we have been, we have made expeditions out to follow different groups of bandits. Tempting as it was to stop them, we felt the knowledge was much more valuable.
You know, the more information we gather, the prouder I am of that red X and how close it is.
It is very close. Good estimate. So, my proposition. 1, we wait until morning to see of the return of the 4 dwarves. Perhaps they come sooner. If they do not come, then we must make a decision. Do we go and look for them, or do we go and put an end to these bandits?
Bane just says, somehow I think they'll both be in the same place, roughly.
I just shake my head. Seems very likely.
Well, their path is to the southwest of us, is where they headed. Towards the northern edge of Fornost. Which is a little different. But if they do arrive, I still propose that we deal with the bandits first. But I am not your leader.
You should, we also found a map at this orc camp that we encountered, and I'm assuming we still have the map out more or less, and I'll point to all of these dots.
Well, I had I would have marked those spots on my map.
Where we believe they're building orc camps, some which are finished and some which are either being scouted or being finished.
Yes, the orcs thought these spots important enough to mark on their map. This is also something that should be investigated.
Especially one is so close.
Yeah, I must confess my attention has been westward.
Especially if the bandits are treating with the orcs, and we believe a lieutenant of the enemy, it might be this path. And I'll just, I guess, point to the path, the point he just made, and just be making a pathway eastward.
Taking out the bandits' stronghold would thwart that business. Tell me, did you find any instruction with this map? Anything of the enemy?
Oh, that's right. He can read black speech. Yes, we did. We did. We took notes.
What they wrote?
Well, someone did. Probably not the orcs. Fulvus, you have them, right?
Yeah, I take out the copies that we took.
We were able to roughly translate, but not greatly.
He looks over it. I do recognize some of this. I'll not repeat those words here. But it's... This concerns increasing efforts behind schedule. Need more slaves. They use the word here. Shelter, refuge, something along those lines it means. And
They cannot.
some of a helmet is a gift. Armor is being withheld until you complete your task. A gift from Brock.
Brock at least Thorin for a time.
This last bit here says the Western operations, their Western endeavors, not operations, that's not the word, it's endeavors, their work, the Western work are based, and this phrase is very clear, from the seat of the last king, where he awaits news of his success. So yes, that is success. Seat of the last king.
Could I make a lore roll to see if I would know who that would be?
Yes, you may. Let me, before you roll it, I'm gonna see if there's anything
I have
from
a
you.
book of stories or folklore.
That would help. Folklore definitely is your distinctive feature. +1 on that roll. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'll use a hope too. Just really want to hit this roll.
And your lore is favored too. Wow, all that dice, but you still succeeded. Seat of the last king. The strongest thing you could think of is Fornost itself. Or the last king that reigned before the great battles in Eriador was. Also, you know, it's just a single success. You would know that upon the end of that battle, the enemy sat and reigned in Fornost for a time before being driven out.
Mr.
Wanderer, hearing that, I'm going to allow you to make a lore roll as well, because that might jog some memories that you might have.
Okay.
And make it with a +1 because of your shadow lore.
Okay. Ugh,
Nah, you don't know anything.
I'm just rolling terrible today. Andy done rubbed off on me.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's my time.
Yeah. Unless, yeah. I don't think I know it in orc lore, so not to mention my lore is only a 1. So
Agamondil, does he have anything that's relevant? Does have lore, and it is favored.
what's his? What's his? I don't know. Even if I helped him, I don't know if I'll be helping him that much.
Hey, here we go. I'll allow this. You got a great success. When you mention Fulvis about, I assume you're. Actually, I'm assuming that you've said everything that you've learned from your lore roll to everyone here.
Mhm.
Okay, I've just assumed all of that. When you talk about the enemy, Agamondil said that would be the Witch King. Now, one of the 9. The Nazgul. Talendil is very quiet, considering this. And
Well, they said they needed shelter, no? While woods and some of these towers would provide some, it wouldn't provide a lot, and I don't see a giant building construction. The next nearest place they could hide would be the ruins of Fornost.
yes,
Tell me of these Nazgul.
Nazgul are, this is Agamondil, servants of the enemy, chief lieutenants of Sauron himself. Cannot be killed.
Oh. Let's just say, just take a sword to them.
Glorfindel himself battled with the Witch King. It's the only one to have done so and lived. He himself was only capable of damaging a physical form. The spirit lingers.
Spirits? Are they spirits? Evil spirits?
They exist in the Shadow Realm, both there and here. You can destroy a physical form, but it does not kill them. But
We're sitting. We're in camp, right?
yeah,
Okay, so I'm going to take my pipe out and unpack it because I have to think about this. You know, I'm thinking hard about this. Smoke the pipe, and think about we can kill their physical form, but they come back. They come back,
they can, but
and we have to kill them again.
not immediately.
Well, Aramino is in prison, so perhaps they can be in prison too. But yes, so
Like catching
my
a rat.
guess, knowing orcs, is that they would take up the ruins of Fornos. Have your people scouted there recently?
And Talendil, a very grave look comes over his face. That is the direction the 4 dwarves went.
Ah.
But what you've said, what you've learned from Faradrun, it is a great orc that reigns supreme here, not one of the Nazgul themselves.
No, thankfully so. No.
But the evil will linger.
Orcs can be killed.
That they can.
Yes, however. They can indeed.
That's something I. Flesh and blood. Flesh and blood is a foe I understand.
Have you scouted this bandit camp itself?
We didn't get close enough to be noticed. I have no description of it to tell you, other than the place, the area where it is. It, from afar, it looks like they have fortified some ruins. Not ruins of a castle or some low-lying buildings, or at least they're low-lying now. Fortified with wood. I will say this, the fact that we're still here, we've been able to scout without being noticed, but they seem a bit careless. Arrogant. No attempts are made to disguise travel in and out of the area. That is common of bandits sometimes when they raid along the Greenway. They would cover their tracks as they retreat. But out here, far from the Greenway, there is no such effort.
Well, if they have the backing of others, they would seem confident regardless. It's the middle of night, by the way, right? Or about to be night, something like that.
It is. It was. Well, by the time you've gotten to their camp and talked a while, it is coming on tonight, because you got to them in the middle of the next day after you, a day and a half basically is what you've traveled.
Well,
Now
I
it's come
suppose
to
we
the
can.
end.
I suppose we can decide on our next course of action, to if the dwarves return in the morning.
Or sooner. Knowing
Yes,
what we have
hopefully.
just learned, I am not comfortable with dealing with these bandits without finding out the fate of the 4 dwarves.
As am I.
We will triple our watch for the evening.
If it comes to it in the morning and we are to retrieve the dwarves, perhaps some scouting efforts can be done concurrently for the nearby locations of the enemy, and perhaps news sent about Fornos.
If the dwarves return, my hope is that they will have news of the orcs. Yes, but we can consider the others. All right.
Well, I would love to sit out in the middle of the night. I'm sure we're exhausted. So,
Yes, you are. All right. Whilst we're here, let's do each of you to make a travel roll, and we'll see how much fatigue that you've got.
Well, I don't know if it does it affect, because I mean he's not doing a skill roll really. He's just
No,
It
in
says
this
stay the
case,
fellowship.
it's not quite relevant.
less eye.
I still don't like those eyes.
Wow.
So close.
Okay. Need to roll for. Come on, Till. Who has no travel skill whatsoever, so this is gonna go well.
Oh no.
Basically, a Gandalf is the only thing that could have done anything for him. All right. So what that means is, well, your horse is reduced by 1. Let's see, Bane, you need to add 3 points to your fatigue, down from 4. Hairbrand the same. Agamondil the same. 3 points, yeah.
3 fatigue, okay.
Yeah.
I'm quite tired.
And Fulvis, you have got 1 success, so you have 2 points. And Wanderer with extraordinary success. I've got none to add.
Woo!
Oh, I need to add it for. Come on, Dale. Ooh, come on, Dale. He's 1 point away. He gets hit once and he's weary.
Who's that? Me?
Angamondil.
Oh, come on, don't look.
Yeah, well, with your new sword, you don't really have to worry about it for battle
True,
anymore.
as long as I'm in battle, yeah.
All right, let me close this up.
Agamondil has quite the armor, which also leads to fatigue. He's not a dwarf. He doesn't get to have it.
Yeah, he does not. But he's even got close fitting to kind of reduce things, but it's still pretty intense. Okay. All right. Okay, setting watches then for the evening. Talendil recommends it. Begin resting immediately. They do have some food. You guys weren't successful in your hunt recently, but they have been. You got a camp of 4 rangers. Hunting is high in their skill set.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is they all the food that we couldn't find.
Yeah.
They hunted it out. They've hunted this region out.
Yeah. That's not probably far from the truth, to be honest. All right. So you do have a good meal.
Should we have been doing little short rests the few nights we stopped?
Well, we did. We took full rests.
Yeah, you take a full rest when you. A short rest is like an hour. Yeah, but it doesn't. If your health is already all the way up, there's nothing it'll do for you.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it did anything with hope.
No, not unless you spend towards it, I think.
Yeah, it's just the fellowship. Now, you do have some Mirrorvore that could all boost you up 1 hope.
Mm-hmm.
Does Mirror get rid of fatigue?
Fatigue, you got rid of some when you were with those 2 settlements.
Mirrorvore doesn't get rid of it.
Mirrorvore does endurance equal to wisdom and 1 point of hope.
Hope. Okay, that's the other one was. All right.
I don't think any of us are bad enough on hope that we really need to use it right now.
No, not yet. If Shadow exceeds your hope is where you start getting in trouble. And then if it exceeds your max Soar and hope, that's where you're in real trouble.
Yep. Hopefully you haven't got that far yet, but still. Okay. So, In the second to last watch, who is watching? If we divide up
Yes,
the
I'll do
watch,
first.
watch
You
is
wanted
in
to try-
phases of 2 hours, so it's going to be third watch. So it won't be. I'm assuming you're keeping the same. I'm assuming it won't be
Yeah.
Bane or Fulvis. Hairbrand, I think you're taking the first watch normally
Correct.
with Wanderer.
Probably Agamandil and well,
One of the NPCs, Agamandil and let's say Raven.
although I did Talon said they're tripling it. So
Yeah, so
they're not-
he's because he's got 3 rangers with him. So between him and the 3 rangers, they each join in a watch, so that there's a third person. But all of you become whether you hear it or not. Make an awareness roll. I think all of you.
Okay.
Good luck on that.
Herbrand is just snoring away.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about this Nazgul thing. Just
Yeah, that's why you got-
Nightmares.
That's why you got the eye. You were just thinking too much on it.
Yeah, and then it just attracted the enemy
Yeah.
to see you. I'll send him more bad dreams. Are the rest
Why
of
we
you
don't
rolling?
speak
so you can kill them, but they
Why we don't speak Voldemort's name here.
Yeah. Are you all gonna roll? This is to see if you notice, because you're all asleep. It's not on your watch when this happens. So see if you notice it.
Yeah. I don't think I can succeed this even with a max roll.
Well, you can always roll a Gandalf.
Yeah.
That's the only option.
Nope.
No, you guys are sound asleep. Wanderer, you haven't rolled yet. Oh, yes, you have. You got a
Yeah, I
max
did.
success. Sorry, I didn't notice that. Wanderer, you hear the commotion of. Well, not commotion. That's not the right word. But the sound of people coming into camp. And the sound of talking is asleep. The only words you made out because you're half asleep was, "You've returned." And you can hear some grumbling. You think, that's dwarven speech. Not dwarf language, but dwarf voices. And looking about, you see the 4 dwarves.
Oh, good. I thought they'd gotten themselves captured again.
That'd be a running theme of this. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. And
I'm gonna.
they're sat around the fire. Angamandil's with them, and Raven and Talendil, and fires being stirred up and food being brought to them. But you do notice, I don't know if you're getting up or not, but you do notice that it looks like they're battered a bit, that they've had a bit of an ordeal.
Yeah, I got up and stretched and would have walked over and greeted them and, told them we had been waiting for them.
And then you had the travel skill, I see.
And they look at you, and Einar looks at you, and He nods. You can tell he's just worn out, that they've walked all night. But you notice something a little bit more. Something behind the eyes. A bit of worry. And that's not something you normally see on a dwarf. And he's, thank you for waiting for us.
We got to make sure y'all get in on the fun too.
It's great to have our numbers increased. And they're stuffing their face. The way they're eating, it's looks like they maybe haven't eaten in a couple of days. And they're quite worn out. That's for now. We are safe here. But you are right, Talendale. The enemy is in Fornost, but in far greater numbers than we thought. Such grave news. And they're barely keeping their eyes open, even though they are dwarves. And Talendale says, rest now. We will hear of it in the morning. Talendale notices you. Well, actually, you were talking, weren't you, Wander?
Oh, I just general greeting and letting them stuff their face.
You get a look from Talendale. It's kind of because he talked with you at length, a couple months ago about the activity in the region. And it's, you've worked with him a lot, but it's kind of like a look of like, it's far greater than what we thought. And he says, go and continue your rest. We'll finish out our watch. There's still a few hours before morning. Morning comes. The rest of you awaken to find 4 dwarves. Battered and bruised, and still snoring away deeply.
Bane will look and go, hey! And kick one of them. Where have you been?
Oh, Bane, I should have known. Can a dwarf get some rest?
Can always rest when you're under the ground. For sure that gets a laugh from Hogar.
Yeah, he just snickers in the back.
I thought you fools have gone off to attack the rest of the forces.
We thought that was all it was going to be, but it was not.
I'm glad you have that much sense. When I heard scouting, I couldn't believe it.
Scouting for heads.
Ah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. But you notice this too, Bane, and this is, again, not normal to notice, not normal to see a dwarf at any point. But there is It's a look behind the eyes. Nothing you would dare mention to a dwarf, but almost of fear.
Well, what did you see at Fornost? We expected a horde of orcs there, from what we discovered on the way up here.
And you would be right to expect such a thing. We didn't have to go deep into Fornos before we started to see the gatherings. There is an orc outpost on the edge of the ruins. There's a lot of... It kind of guards the way. The land sort of is a crevice and it goes down into the ruins. Perhaps the remains of an ancient path between hills. The land is treacherous there, but this orc stronghold guards the mouth of it. A lot of traffic going through beyond. Numbers were too great. We took out a few as we got closer, confidence behind us. Come strolling out, ready to smash some heads to find a much larger company. Vidar pipes up. That was Einar speaking. Vidar pipes up and I nearly lost my life. And you see him look at a wound on his left arm. It's been wrapped up, but he kind of rubs it. But we left none standing on that. I can tell you that, and a lot of heads piled. But
Good. Left a few up on the way here ourselves. Now.
We wanted to leave our usual fashion to display what we had done, but we feared to alert our presence would not give us the element of surprise, so we hid the remains, we buried them. And Keeley pipes up, and giving an orc a proper burial was not much fun, I can tell you that.
Bane at the sound of dug into the earth for orcs kind of spits. But tell me, did you see an orc bigger than the rest? Maybe heard the name Vrock?
They shiver. It's more like a shudder, really, not shiver. It's a dwarf we're talking about here. Never saw him. But we heard tell of them. Something different about him. And almost some of the lesser orcs anyway. When they speak of him, they speak in fear. But in the area that embarrassed to say it, but the dreams filled our heads at night. Fienar kind of nods his head, kind of has his head bowed a bit. Terrible. Just this feeling of dread and doom overhanging everything. We scouted further ahead to see what I've told you of their stronghold, their base of operations. Something is deeper down, something that those ruins lead into. We did learn it might be possible to sneak around, although sneaking is not something that we do very well. Might be able to, if you're careful, to get around the outpost. But I tell you, that camp, It's not an ordinary camp. It's a war camp. They're preparing for something much bigger.
Obviously, the ruins provide a decent amount, but they were talking about shelter. Did you see digging tools?
Nah. Nothing of the sort.
They're looking for something or just taking shelter there. You heard talk of Thorin? Or caught sight of other dwarves?
No other dwarves. But I did hear a lot of references to the prize.
Well, I'd be assuming they'd be talking about the other part of this, and I'll kind of pull out his helmet. Thorin's helmet.
I know. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting sometimes we're not face to face. I was doing an expression on my face. But he looks at his Howler's beard.
Some of those in that crude speech they have, according to Talendil, he's handing out all pieces of his armor like prizes. I'm assuming he has the rest of it in there. Whether they have Thor in there, don't know.
And Einar says, but as for my part, what will drive me? I'm going to go with the thought that Thorin himself is there, and that will drive me to defeat every orc in my path.
Bane's just fired up these doors again. We're all sad. Sorry. Actually, you know what? Why not? I'm probably gonna suck at it, but I would like to fire up these doors, although I have to find where an appropriate.
You gonna sing?
I want to sing. See what's appropriate here.
Well, you wrote one. Battle of Zan.
I did. It's kind of sad. But well, I guess they are kind of sad. So they're sad, and it'll fire up their anger, remembering killing a lot of orcs. It's basically a revenge song anyway. So, all right, yeah, I'll sing it. I forget what the +1 gets me. So it's +1 bonus.
Yeah, it's +1 bonus on the roll because you wrote it while you were in Rivendell.
Wonderful. And it's morning time. +1 roll. I want to give them hope. I'll spend some of my hope to give them hope. Oh, that was decent.
Yeah. In my view, that fate die lingered on the Eye of Sauron briefly. And they join in. All of them. Even Hogar. Once he hears it, oh! And it gets quite loud, and Talendale and the Rangers are looking about like, oh, don't give our position away. And you can see that haunted look on their face begin to fade and be replaced with like a battle hardiness. And you have been successful.
Good. Yes. Yeah.
And Talendale speaks to them. or all of you really, but to them, directed to them. I am glad for your return. We were going to head out to look for you if you had not returned and leave deceived. Whilst you're away, we've located the base of operations, or where we believe the base of operations is for the bandits. And it is there that we wish to go first before tackling the orcs. Which may be a difficult thing to convince you of now that I hear what you've told me. And to all of you, your input is most welcome. We may gain more knowledge from the bandits that might aid us.
Aye.
And if the bandits are the ones who are kidnapping the slaves, kidnapping people for the slaves, and this map you've shown us that they're making trips east to put an end to that. Kind of puts a thorn in the enemy's activities east of here, whilst we deal with the orcs and Fornost.
Aye.
Are we
And
all in
once we-
agreement?
Yes. We can.
Yes.
Did he say
Mhm.
the number in the camp roughly?
Say what?
Did he say the number in the bandit camp roughly?
Had no idea.
That they were. Okay, he didn't. They didn't get a rough count. All right.
No, they did not. A lot of coming and going, though.
Because my only suggestion would have been because I mean we have a veritable small army, so if you can send one of the rangers to scout, whoever their stealthiest one is, this place over here, which is the next base of operations coming from the east, just so we know what's over there, you know. But
Well, we could do that. To go and to return, assuming the observation is quick.
yeah, I mean unless he wants us to raid this and then, but person's closer currently.
Even by the way a ranger travels, that will be some 3-4 days before we hear back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Any thoughts on the matter? Everyone else?
Anyone?
I think it's a solid plan.
Because I mean, we do have what, like
I'm game.
4 or 5
Sounds-
NPC rangers here.
You have your little army gathered here, besides you players. You have 7 dwarves, counting Hogar. Snow White. She's always been there.
Just
Just
grumpy, you know.
yeah, they're just singing along.
Yeah. I think we can spare a couple for that plan. That
Yeah.
sounds like a very good idea.
And you have Talendale and well, 1, 2, 3, and 4 rangers, including Raven. So 5 rangers, including Talendale, 7 dwarves, including Hogar, and all of you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ranger's going to be better at scouting and sneaking than one of the dwarves. So
That's
plus they know the land.
That's 17 of you. So if you send 1 ranger, then there'll be 16 of you.
Yeah, that would kind of
To
make
deal with
sense.
it.
I think.
Just get an eye on the place and come back.
Yeah,
All right.
might take a few days better to have an eye on the place, and 16 versus 17 isn't that much of a difference, really, at the end of the day. Plus, if they happen to encounter someone marching towards the base, it'll let us know a little bit early.
Yes. Right. We do it this way. And he speaks to one of them. On your return, check here in this camp if there is. We will leave word if we are able to. If not, pick up our trail to Fornost. And make haste. And they begin breaking up camp. It's still early. Full meal by all. But that ranger heads out long before you're done with breaking up camp. Now, how do you guys wish to proceed? Horses will shorten the time, but make you more noticeable.
Beat me to it, I was gonna say, but they are noisy.
Only one of you has a battle-ready horse, which is Bane's pony, actually. I believe, if I remember right.
Oh, is it? Maybe.
Ponies aren't normally, but I was going to allow you, I think. But I can't remember what we discussed. It's been a while.
But, yeah, so... I mean, if we travel roughly to the edge of the tree line on horse, I mean, it's not going to save us much time. And then, we're going to have to leave someone with them, right?
Hogar.
Well, I don't know if Hogar's willing to stay behind on this Dwarven crusade that I have now going. I mean, but I mean, it's I guess Hogar or one of the rangers or whoever feels like they're most equipped to deal with the horses.
Hogar says to you, I will. But when we storm onto the orc base, I will be at the forefront of that charge.
Bane will go right next to me, and he kind of pats him on the shoulder.
Yeah. Okay, so that is going to, let me get a hex map. On foot, that's going to be a 2-day journey for you guys. Or just under 2 days. Alright, I'm going to, oops, I can't, oh, because I'm on a pencil tool. Every time. I can't grab the fellowship token without grabbing the Talendale token. Alright, I need to make a couple of rules. 1 moment. Cool. All right. just preparing tokens on another map. Just because it'll take me a little bit of time. And I'm sure they'll come out gigantic on your part. Let's see. And they are. Well, not gigantic, but they are bigger. I'm just going to put you on the edge of this map. I didn't really include a lot of extra areas. Let's see, who am I missing? That's the 5 of you. Now, your army. Einar. Dogen. Gili. Dinar. Not Hogar. Logan. And Vidar. And then Raven. Taladil. Of those 2 other rangers, I'm not going to have a token for them because that's far too many NPCs for a combat situation. You all will get bored of me just going through all of them. So I'm going to have the dwarves operate in 2 packs, 2 groups of 3. One will roll for an attack with a +2 on the dice, so it's just 1 attack per group of 3, but there's a bonus to hit. And then the 2 other rangers I'll operate with Raven. Talendale I'll let be separate. But I need to change all the heights. God damn it. Some of these are really weird. Come on, mouse. Close enough, anyway.
Bane.
Sorry, it's just a lot prepared. I would have prepared it in advance, but I didn't know exactly who I'll be coming with all of them.
So Bane. Can you hear me?
Silence. Alright, just about ready, guys. Sorry, thanks for your patience.
Can you all
Quite
hear
all
me?
right.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Alright. I will
So you see Harobrand has been like pondering this like for a day. Finally, he puts out his pipe, stands up and says, and smiles. Everything can be killed. The only immortals are the gods. Are the Valor. And their servants. So everything can be killed. You just have to figure out how to do it. And he's happy now.
Ah,
All right. Can you all see?
ooh. Yes, I'm on the very edge of vision there.
Very edge, yes. This is I'm not saying that's exactly where you're at, but
Hmm.
all right. Dogan and Logan. I'm gonna leave the tokens of the other dwarves down here in the corner, so I don't have as many to move about. Raven represents 2 other people besides yourself, and each of these 2 dwarf tokens here. Nope, not those 2. Dogan and Logan each represent 2 dwarves each, or 3 dwarves total, including themselves. All right, so you kind of come in from the southeast towards this. You could, from where you're at, you're not that close right now because otherwise you'd be noticed, but I don't have a map that extends further back. You have a southern entrance that's guarded, so Talendale was correct. There is a palisade of wood that they have built around some ruins. You do find, so an entrance in the south. You did see an entrance in the east as you approached. On the other side, you cannot see. Above the palisade, you do see the tops of some trees that rise above it. And in the southwest corner of the map, you do see the top of a very tall tent. One that comes to a point, like a round sort of tent. And the top of it sticks out over the top of the palisade. Or is visible, sorry, it doesn't stick out, but you are a bit distant, but you do see 2 bandits. They're quite casual, actually, guarding the south entrance. And then when you were coming up, you could see at least 1 bandit just inside the east entrance. Talendale's assessment of them being kind of arrogant or not thinking they're going to have intruders has proven to be correct. And the other thing you can notice is that as you're walking up, there is some sort of activity going on in the center of this camp, but you were too far away to notice. So, you're not this close. I made the rolls I made was to see if you were noticed, and if the attitude of these 2 guards is indication, you have not been noticed. So you can place yourselves to come in any way you would like. An entrance, climbing over the wall. You could also at a distance, do a scout all the way around it if you wished. It'll take you some time because you have to make a wide distance to keep from being noticed.
Yeah, I was kind of curious what other entrances it looks like there are, or what their house looks like.
Can I sneak closer and just try and like stealthily hug the wall without anyone noticing me?
Well, especially with your ring. Now your ability.
He could stand on my shoulder and jump through a window again.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let's see. Now, your Art of Disappearing ability of a hobbit, that only works if you are not moving. It's like you can hide behind something and not be seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like walking about. But I'm sure you knew that. But yeah, being able to sneak up close and because there's all sorts of what isn't indicated. There's all sorts of low-lying walls and ruins and crumbled walls. There's all kinds of places, especially for a hobbit, to hide behind as you get closer and closer. Plus, I believe your stealth is quite high.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then you've got a +2 on that with your ring. The Ring of Mittelmar. God.
Wow.
Your bonuses, I assume, go quietly as one of your... But then again, that's kind of inherent with stealth, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking of make haste and gain insight.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
You're able to determine that there's one, possibly two entryways to this in the north. And you can't quite see it, but you can see where a pathway goes. Possibly there's one in the west as well. There are, besides one or two bandits guarding the entranceways, you made out about 5 or so in the center around a large fire. And another man who was quite large, bigger than the rest of them. And you think all men are quite tall, obviously. But this man is gigantic. Seemed to be... The rest seemed to kind of defer to him. But there's 3 people that are not bandits that they've got kneeled down. They're dressed like commoners. You couldn't hear anything from where you're at because you're still outside the camp. But by your count, let's see. So 5 in the center. These 2 guards make 7, the ones that are close to you. On the north, you saw a couple more. That's 9. Looks like another entrance to the north, but it looks narrower, so possibly at least one person guarding it, so you suspect 10. And if there's a western gate, that's 11 or 12. And then you did see an eastern gate where you saw at least 1, so that's 13. But there's a number of ruined buildings that you saw. You don't know if there's any more in that. So your best guess is 14 with this large man.
Okay.
At least.
And is this ruined village like secluded from other parts of the enemy? Like, would we be worried about reinforcements coming?
Oh, it's kind of quite wooded in the area around it, and you don't see all those outposts that were mentioned, the smaller sort of checkpoint garrisons. They're farther away, closer to like the Greenway or on the edge of these hills. There's the one that Talendale mentioned to you, which is marked on your map with the white dot. At least it should still be. No, it went away. But it's south of your position, but quite some ways away. There's other ruins embedded within the woods that surround you, the wooded area, but you don't see any lights, any firelight anywhere coming outside of it. Oh yeah, also worth pointing out to you, now you can all see this, but just north of where you're at right here, just over the side, there's firelight flickering. And down to on the western corner, just over the edge. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. Should be able to see. There's firelight flickering on the other side of that, like a fire pit, not like a torch. Something a little bit bigger than a torch. So you surmise 1, 2, 3, at least 4 entrances.
Okay, and then the 3 that were kneeling down, does it look like they're about to be executed, or is it just...
Doesn't look
there?
imminent, at least. Oh yeah, one other detail. You did get an extraordinary success. I forgot. What you can see, if I move your token... Oh. If I move your token to here, that doesn't help you, does it? You can see straight on, I think, into there.
Yeah, I can.
The 3 with green circles are the commoners. Beyond them, you see 2 bandits. I don't know if you can... Can you see this here?
Yeah, I can.
Those 2 are on either side of a ruined building. But the door between them to that ruined building is... I don't want to say bars because it's not made of metal, but it's more like wood been fashioned. You suspect it's some sort of makeshift prison of sorts. Which kind of holds true of a gathering of slaves sort of operation. You think you've hit the jackpot.
Okay, I'll return to my group and tell them of all the entrances.
You guys awake?
Yep.
It's very, very silent.
Playing close attention so nobody has to repeat themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, bit of game mechanic that I didn't quite spell out to you guys before. It's about killing the enemy. You know, orcs and such is fine.
Right.
It's humans when we get the
We have to be a little
shadow
more
points.
careful about, right?
Well, I looked it up again, and it's you can defend yourself. You could stop an enemy. You could kill them, but it's one of those things to where you have to weigh up. You know, in this case, there's innocents being harmed. You know, and what you wait, and according to the rules, is there another solution besides murder or death Murder isn't quite the right word. But in self-defense, it's fine, or in preventing an evil, it is fine. It's just
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, this
especially
came
like
up
if
when
they
we
were to-
tied those guys to the tree.
yeah.
like,
If you're
especially
just
if
going
they were
through
to
without,
surrender,
sorry.
yeah, especially like if they were to surrender or anything
Yeah,
like that.
if they surrendered and you decided to just slit their throat,
Slaughter them.
that would be bad. But your characters don't know this. I was just saying as a game mechanic.
Yeah. But I mean, would the simple attack be?
No, in this case, if you want to weigh this up here, this is the center of operations that have been attacking and enslaving people all
We know
across
they're
Eriador.
doing wrong. Yeah.
Possibly may or may not be part of the coordinated attacks on the Shire.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess obviously our goal is to kind of, well, for one, rescue these prisoners now that we know they have live prisoners here, and two, to just kind of knock them out of this keep. So if they're running away out of this keep, So
Yeah. But, having said that, if you were successful and you had a few left alive, locking them in their own jail and leaving them there would not be something that would trigger any negativity on your part. What happens is you can gain shadow points from doing such acts, is the concern. Obviously, your characters don't know that, but
yeah. Well, plus I'm sure the Rangers know what to do with them if some do surrender. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to suggest, because we're getting near to the end of our time, do you guys want to make your plan and then we pick up next time with
Yes,
the actual
probably.
attack, or do you want to stop without making a plan?
You want to make the plan, guys?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, we can. The only thing
Yeah.
is, I guess, if Unicorn comes back next week, that's the only thing. But I know his schedule's kind of wonky.
Yeah.
So
As soon as we
We
get
can also
to-
make the
Jake,
plan
next week. It's not next week, right?
No,
Sorry.
no. 2 weeks.
'Cause- yeah, because
Like,
next week we're away, right?
yeah, it's 2
Yeah.
weeks from now.
Okay.
and I
Sorry.
think that's actually 4th of July weekend for us. So who knows what Unicorn will probably be up to something extra that weekend. I mean,
Yeah, well, once we get to the autumn, his schedule is quite freed up, and he'll be with us every single time. Chris, you just said something, and I kind of got drowned out with the other talking. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was gonna say we can also come up with a plan in text chat, like
Yep.
asynchronously over the next
Mhm.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
True.
Unicorn watches every single one of these. The videos, I mean.
I just realized next session I'm gonna be on vacation.
Oh,
It's my birthday. I'm gonna be in Seattle.
there's that. You guys think I have to run and do a quick bio, but I'll be right back.
Oh, there's 2 sentries at least on this entrance. He said
Yeah,
there's quite
and
a
then
few
there's-
gathering on the fire.
there was the one narrow entrance. I was
Mhm.
kind of thinking that could be a bottleneck.
Hmm.
That they if we could draw their attention there and get them to come out one by one.
Place the heavy dwarf in front of it.
How would we get them to come out though? That's the thing.
Cause a ruckus.
Yeah, it looks like there's a narrow entrance here. There's a bigger one here. There's one here.
And
I think,
where were the people again? Where were they all? There's 2 at
And
the
the-
gate.
and there's
There's
in the
5
middle.
up there somewhere, right?
Yeah. But like,
Alright, I see.
Or we could do like we did in that orc village, come in from different directions. There's so many
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah.
There are.
'cause-
That way, the ones in the area where we're at will stick to us instead of going see what the noise is from somewhere else. So what we got? 16, was it?
And I forget. Did he?
How many did say there were in there?
Fulvis able? And Fulvis, you saw a cage, or did you see people? I know there's people around the campfire, but did you see people in the cage, or just the cage itself?
I didn't see people. I just saw the cage.
Okay.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but
there's an implication that there's people back there that I just can't see into it.
okay. Well, not to mention, I feel like, especially for bandits, once you take a decent amount of them out or take their leader out, so whoever their leader is, which is
Oh, yeah.
probably a big guy around the fire,
Morale will start to falter.
and I think Fulvis said he saw a big guy around the fire, who's probably their guy. Yeah.
You've got 15 of you. Hogar back with the horses, and then the other ranger off to scout.
To be honest, though, taking him alive might be the best option if we can swing it, since he would know the most.
Actually, I think we have so many people, right? Like, why can't we just go in and just intimidate them?
True.
Like, if we all ride in on horses, they probably won't try and fight back too much.
Well, we left our horses behind, but I do. I mean, if we do walk in a big group, I mean, they probably weren't expecting at least an even fight. I mean, they might have a few more than us, but I don't know if they're willing to risk it because they know they would lose about half of their number, probably.
I mean, I don't think the bandits would be expecting to see a bunch of elves, dwarves, and rangers to show up.
True.
And a hobbit.
I mean, if you want to try the diplomatic approach, we can do it. I mean, I could probably do a decent intimidate / all of them. Because, I mean, I have 3 in it plus a favored.
And you
I can
have
try.
your helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which gives me an extra bonus dice.
My
Yeah.
horn.
Well, yeah, but what's your...
Let's
Well, yeah,
find
I'm just talking about intimidating them in talking first, not necessarily trying to rob them.
Is there an intimidate, or is there a pursue?
It's basically awe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, awe can be used to like surprise, like inspire, and be like, "Ooh, he's really fancy," but it can also be used to, scare people.
So what's your awe?
Three favored, and it's bonus dice. Not to mention, I could, because it does look like nighttime. I could also boost it.
Yeah.
Yep, it is nighttime by the time you get here.
I mean, if that's the route we want to go, I mean, we don't really. I mean, if that's the route we want to go, I know we wanted to save it till next session, but unless they fight us, I mean, we don't really need to. I mean, if the intimidation route works, I mean, it'd become mostly a talking thing, unless unless of course.
So let's, if we do that, right? What if they all surrender?
That's a great point.
Lock them in their dungeon.
I mean, what do we do with all these people?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna condone murder in case they surrender, but I mean, at that point, I mean, Talendil would probably know what to do with. I mean, that'd be up to. I mean, this is Talendil's foray, so I mean, I'm willing to leave it up into his hands what he wants to do with it.
Can I assist Bane with this? With a well, a couple things I could do. My horn could do something, but also, and I do have awe with that too. 2 in that. But also, if I make a fiery speech, can I inspire him to be more intimidating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
if you're the source of helping me, it would give me an extra bonus dice. On top of that.
Then another thought of mine was we could, if it's going to be night, we could be spread out around it and like light torches, so it looks like they're surrounded. You know, which they could be. Well, be. You know, I don't know. Anyway,
That'd be 3 dice. It's favored plus inspired. Trying to do the math here.
So
I've got a little Theoden here looking at my.
there's a few of the actions that you do, Bane, that there's just so much dice involved. It's easy to lose track.
So Herobrand help.
Okay.
Plus 2.
Okay.
So I'd have 3 dice at favored, inspired, which I would spend a hope on, so that'd be 2 additional dice. So it's 5 dice. An additional one for the helmet would be 6 dice. Herobrand's help would give me 8 dice.
I think it limits you to +3, actually. I don't think you can put any more bonuses in.
Well, the bonuses would stop at 3. The inspired would give me additional 2, because that I'm allowed to just click.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, we'd still put all that in, and then.
Yeah. So basically, here, I'm not gonna roll it right now, but because if I pull it up, yeah, it's favored already. Inspired, I would spend a hope dice on. Support from a companion +1 because of Herobrand, and then +1 because of the helmet. So it'd be like 2 ticks. Basically everything else highlighted.
Yeah. the few times when you can do that, you've got to do it. Yeah, well, if you did well enough, you could probably easily convince them they were surrounded. Well, I can't remember who mentioned it, the idea of putting some torches out.
Yeah, around. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's how you want to help me, and then I can march in with my cadre of
mighty
dwarves.
speech. But...
God, march in with 7 dwarves and what we got? 1, 2, 3, 5 rangers.
I mean, that might be enough for them to go, screw this. I mean, bandits aren't known for their bravery, per se.
No, and the intimidate, or the awe. No, I'm thinking of the battle tactic of intimidate foe.
Yeah, that'd be if they got the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The intimidate foe, if you get it high enough, it affects more people. But this is a different thing. Which could still affect more people, yeah, but...
I mean, I'm willing to try it. I mean, we can always go down to fighting, and at that point we can put it on pause, I suppose. But, I mean, if we want to try this talking thing first.
Well, I would still like to wait until next session before you enact that, just in case...
Sure.
Yeah, no problem.
Because even that, just some talking, that could well take us into a lot of post time. If that works, that is. And maybe there's dozens of bandits hidden in these ruined buildings that are going to come out.
I mean, there could be, but I still think they would lose at least half their number, which is a thought to them.
Yeah.
Because,
well,
I mean, we're not exactly lightly armed here.
I also like Chris's suggestion that you can discuss it on the chat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unicorn could put in his 2 cents as well, especially if he gets to join us. And then Fulvus, you could let us know what... It sucks he won't be able to be with us, but I understand. But you could let us know what you would do, and then I'll do my... Well, I've been rolling really well lately, so you'll probably be fine. Right. Cool. I'm going to stop the recording then.